Okay, let's go ahead and continue here. Let's see. So we have my projects. Let's see how can we put this to the left, right? So left align my projects. That's how it looks like here. All right. So if you go back to my projects, you notice that it's inside of a column. As a column, we can actually move the entire thing to the left, center, or right. So I'm going to say main axis, again, alignment. Main axis, I'm going to say alignment. I want this to start, meaning it's going to go all the way to the left. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say cross axis alignment, right? So across left and right, I'm going to say cross alignments, and I want this to be start like that. Save. Voila, you can see now it's all the way to the left. Very good. And if I wanted to, I could wrap it. As we said here, this project, I can probably make it 18 edge insects all just to have more padding around. That way it doesn't look everything too close together. Let's now look at how we can spice this up a little bit. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a few objects we're going to be using here. So I'm going to just copy and paste so you don't have to watch me type everything. So this is a project list, right, that it created right away that I have here as an example. So you can change all these fields to whatever you want, and you can change the links to pictures and so forth. Again, this is just a demo thing for you, and you can change to your liking. Okay, so essentially it's just a project list, and I have a few objects here. So this is considered an object. So we have key value pair properties here. So title is going to have build a cat, subtitle is going to be create client, image, and that's an image, and another one. We can add as many as you want. Okay, so we're going to use that to populate this. So in this case here, go back to where we are working on our list. This is our list view. Instead of saying hello, now what I can do a few things. First of all, for the item count property, I can say project list like this and say dot length. So it gets the length of our project list. Okay. And then you notice we have here our index, which is going to control how many items we have, and it's going to index all of the items we have in our project list, in this case of our projects. Very handy. So now I can just pull in each one of those objects. How do I get each one of those objects? Because remember, project list is indeed a list, right? So I'm going to say project list as such, and then because I know it's an array or a list in this case, I'm going to pass the index because it will know exactly which item we are looping through and populating. And then what I want is the property title and pass it there. Do the same thing. Let me just copy all of this and paste here as well. Instead of title, this is going to be subtitle. If I save this now, you should see build a cat, create client, connecto, and so forth, right? If I go back to our project list like this, and I can just copy this and add a new one. This is going to be Flutter 2.0 course, the best of the best, like this, right? If I save, notice because everything is now dynamic, it should show our Flutter 2.0 there. Very good. So it's looking good. Not exactly like this, but at least it's looking good. Now let's go ahead and see if we can add the image. How do we do that? Well, let's go to our code again, our list view, list tile there. So what we're going to do when we finish our list tile, notice we're still inside of a column, right? What we're going to do is we're going to add another container. So this container is going to have a child property, and I am going to add an image.network there. And that means we are going to invoke, by the way, what you can do, you notice me doing this, probably should explain to you. Whenever you want to go to where a variable or an object was created, you can actually say command and hold that, and then you see this happens, and you can click, and then takes you to exactly where that object or list or variable was first created. Pretty handy. So as I was saying, we have this image property for each one of these objects, which contains a link from Pixum of an image that we're going to be using to add. Okay, so we're going to come down here. I'm going to say project list. For such, just same thing we had, passing the index, because it needs to know which object we are looping through. And then I'm going to say image. So it's going to go ahead and fetch the image. This has to be inside of single quotes, image like this. And while I'm here, I'm going to wrap this inside of, because it's a container, I'm going to say alignment. And say alignment. I want this to be center like this. Let's save and voila. You can see now that all of these guys have images. Very, very nice. Okay. And there you have it. The other thing we can do is, you notice here there's no spacing. If you look at this example, notice there is some sort of spacing to the right. Okay, we can also do that. How do we do that? Well, coming back here, notice we have a project, but also notice that everything is inside of an expanded. So if I click this expanded there, if you look, it ends right about here, but I'm still inside of a column of some sort. That means I can do, yes, you guessed it, sized box. So whenever in doubt, size box is your friend, and I'm going to say width because I want this spacing to be horizontal, right? So I'm going to add a width here of about 100. Let's save this and see if that works. Actually, this has to be outside of here. There we go. Let's not forget to add that. There we go. That's much better. Now you can see that space there. Let me explain again why it doesn't work putting there. Because this has to be outside these expanded. Let me put it like this so you can see. If I click here, you can see we expanded we're talking about is going to be the main expanded, not the one we were looking at. It's going to be this expanded here, right? So click there, and it's this one that we wanted. Very good. So just like that, ladies and gentlemen, you now have a pretty good portfolio that works and looks really nice. So what I want you to do is to take this and make it your own. Add your own image. You can change the colors. You can make these rows even better. You can add more projects, your actual projects, or find other pictures or photos online and so forth. Okay, so make it your own. Don't be shy. You won't break anything. And if you do, you can always fix it. Very well. So the last thing we're going to do is to add some sort of clickable event that will happen. So if you drop them a line, it's going to show us an email client that we can then hopefully send an email to, right? Use that to send an email to the person, in this case, yourself, right? We're just testing things out here. And also make it so that when we click each one of these buttons, we take the user to Facebook.com, Instagram.com, and Twitter, okay? Now, what I want you to do is to figure out by yourself how to do so. First of all, when we click either one of these, drop me a line or contact me, it should open up an email client where it's going to be populating the email address you're going to send to, where it's coming from, the subject, and of course, a text of the email body, okay? So Google and figure that out and try to implement that. And also, I would like you to make it so that when these buttons are clicked, they take the user to Facebook.com, Instagram.com, and Twitter.com. And I know you can do this. Go ahead and figure it out before you go to the next video.